गुरुरेव गति गुरुमेव भजे गुरुनैव सखास्मि नमो गुरवे न गुरुः परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरोः मतिरस्मि गुरो मम पाहि गुरो सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरये परमात्मने प्रणतक्लेशनाशाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेदमभेदकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकातर आजुहाव पुत्रेदि तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुस्तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। सर्वेभ्यः नमस्कारः. We saw in the last two chapters, that is in chapter 18 and 19 of Canto 3 of Srimad Bhagavata Mahapurana, the fierce fight battle between Varaha Murti and the Ashura Hiranyaksha. And subsequently, the Ashura Hiranyaksha was killed in that fight. Actually, Bhagavan took that Varaha avatara to retrieve the earth, Mahi, which has gone deep into the Rasadala. During the process of creation, no one noticed that the earth is submerged in the water of deluge, and yes, it has gone up to the Rasadala. No one noticed it, not even Brahmadeva. And Brahmadeva, once he requested his son Swayambhuva Manu and Shatarupa Devi to beget more and more children. It is then Swayambhuva Manu said, but where will we go and live? The earth is in the water of deluge. It is submerged there and it has gone up to the Rasatala. So Brahmadeva meditated on Bhagavan Sri Hari, and Bhagavan, he took the form of a boar, wild boar, in the very small Sukshma Rupa, and he came through the nostrils of Brahmadeva, and as soon as he came out, he grew in the big size of the elephant and hard as rock. And immediately he plunged into the water of deluge, that is in the ocean, and he went to the Rasatala and retrieved the earth and placed it in between his tusks. It is at that time Hiranyaksha came and attacked Bhagavan. So the main purpose of Varaha Avatara of Bhagavan is to retrieve the earth and also to kill Hiranyaksha. And the different types of creation was done by Brahmadeva according to his mood. He brought into existence the Gandharvas, the Asuras, the Pitas, the Devas, Kinnaras, Kimpurishas, Siddhas, Vidyadharas. And when Brahmadeva was in the meditative mood, he brought out, that is, he came into existence, the Rishis, Prajapatis, Manus. Everyone was created by Brahmadeva, that is the secondary creation. And it was all done according to the mood of Brahmadeva. Mood of Brahmadeva means in the previous deluge, that is in that destructive cycle, everything went inside Bhagavan Srimad Narayana as it is. Some people attained mukti, so they merged in Bhagavan. Some people is in that different steps of attaining mukti. Some are bhaktas, some are pisashas, some are very cruel people. So all of them, they became a potent energy, latent energy. They lost their form and they became the drop of energy and merged in Bhagavan. During the next creative cycle, all this was passed to Brahmadeva. That's why through that Nabi Kamala of Bhagavan, all these impressions as latent, potent, latent impressions, it was passed to Brahmadeva because he was the Hiranyagarbha. He is the totality of all the impressions of this creation. And according to their karmas, he brought into existence, without any change, he brought into existence these different varieties of beings. That's why some of them are Kinnaras, some of them are Kimpurishas, some of them are Devas, some Gandharvas. They were like this, exactly like this, in the before that previous pralaya. Now in this creative cycle, they were brought like that into existence. And in this creative cycle, that is what I'm telling is about the Krita Yuga, that is in the first Yuga. The main purpose of all the Manu or Prajapatis or the Rishis or the everyone is to bring out progeny, to bring out many human beings as their children. Only then this entire creation will be filled by human beings, or otherwise it will be only filled by the plants and trees and animals, that's all. And in that way, Brahmadeva requested Swayambhuva Manu and Shatarupa, who came from the body of Brahmadeva as in the human form. He requested them to beget children. And Swayambhuva Manu and Shatarupa, they had 5 children. 2 sons were Priyabrata and Uttanapada, and 3 daughters, Ahuti, Prasuti and Devahuti. And Ahuti was married to Ruchi Prajapati, and Prasuti was married to Daksha Prajapati. Now, Swayambhuva Manu and Shatarupa, they were searching the groom for their daughter Devahuti. And one day, Brahmadeva called one of the main Prajapatis, that is Kardama Prajapati, and requested him to get married and get more and more children, to beget progeny. And Kardama Prajapati immediately obeyed the orders of Brahmadeva, and he came to earth and he did tapas on Bhagavan Srimad Narayana for long time, nearly 10,000 years. You may wonder that how is it possible that 10,000 years a person can live, but it was all possible then because it all depends upon the purity of the mind, the purity of the nature, the prakriti, and everything matters, and in that time everything was so pure. Even now we have heard that some sages in the Himalayas are living for more than 150 years. So it was absolutely possible at that time, and Kardama Prajapati did tapas on Bhagavan for nearly 10,000 years. During that tapas, he was so attached, intensely attached to Bhagavan, the form of Bhagavan, and he had so much love for Bhagavan. He developed all that while he did tapas. And one day, Bhagavan Vishnu, he appeared before Kardama Prajapati in his ashrama. And it was such a brilliant, sun-like form of Bhagavan, and so beautiful divine form in his Shanga Chakra Gadharupa, in his yellow cloths, and held tightly in his girdle, with his armlets, crown, Baharakuntala, and with a beautiful form with the Shanga Chakra Gadharupa, he appeared before the Kardama Prajapati in his ashrama. His ashrama is situated on the banks of river Saraswati. There only he was doing tapas. He appeared before Kardama Prajapati. Kardama Prajapati was so happy, so blissful, and he prostrated before Bhagavan and he worshipped Bhagavan, and he requested Bhagavan to satisfy his wish to get a wife to attain progeny, because that was the order of Brahmadeva, to go to the earth and get progeny. By in that way you can help the creation. So he requested, he cannot do all this alone, so he requested Bhagavan, who appeared in front of him, to get a wife to attain progeny. And he also said, Tata sachaham parivodu kamaha samana sheelam grihamedhadenum upeyivan moolam ashesha moolam durashaya kamadukhangripasya. He said, I need a wife who is samashila. A very good request by Kardama Prajapati. Samashila means one who is suitable in all temperament, suitable with his temperament. Nowadays, in this modern time, most of the marriages fall apart because they don't have this samashila. Samashila means it is the compatibility. Compatibility means physical compatibility, mental compatibility, emotional compatibility, and what is more important is the spiritual compatibility. I'm not telling about the different religions or the form the different people worship. It's not that. It is that spiritual compatibility means respect for the other's spiritual thoughts, whatever form or whatever religion it may be. Physical compatibility mostly everyone see because that is very gross and less important. The next is the mental compatibility. Both must have at least a compatible thoughts. Only then they can go together in their life. And more important is the emotional compatibility to understand the emotions of others and respond in a positive way. Nowadays, when people understand the emotional breakdown of others, they just celebrate it and say that you did this to me. That's why you're experiencing this. No, the family life is not a place for taking revenge of any type. So the emotional compatibility is very important. And as I said, what is basic is the spiritual compatibility. When we have that spiritual compatibility, then everything else can be adjusted to an extent. As I said, what people now see in a marriage is physical compatibility, more versus financial compatibility, professional compatibility. All this cannot take the life beyond a certain limit. I am not telling that the financial support or the professional support is less important, but it is not all. So when we select a spouse based on that, or if a family select their groom or their bride based only on this, then it will be just like a jagra every day, tu tu me me. So that's why so many marriages are falling apart nowadays. And this is the reason that Samashilam, that's the reason why the marriages in the ancient time went long for a long, long time. So he requested Bhagavan to get a wife who is Samashila and Grihamedadenu, one who is Kamadenu in the domestic life. Kamadenu in the domestic life does not mean that she should do every work. I will enjoy the nature and I will do my work. It is not like that. But to understand the needs and the emotional needs and the spiritual needs and every needs of the person and reacting according to it. So he wanted a wife who is compatible to him in all ways, and so he doesn't have the time to go and select because he was so deep in meditation. So he requested Bhagavan to wife with all these qualifications. And he also said that Bhagavan, you are the Lord for who are all desireless, that is for the sages, and who have desires also. That is to use who seek fulfillment of desires. And he says, Namami abhikshanam namaniyah padasarojam alpiyasi kamavasham. That is, you are the fulfiller of the wishes of all the people. And so I worship your Pada Sarojam, your lotus feet. How? Abhikshanam. Again and again, I worship your lotus feet so that please satisfy my desires. And Bhagavan said, Me purayeva samayojitat. That is, I know all your desires because you are always in connection with me. So I was able to understand all your desires and I have already made arrangements for it. And Bhagavan said some more. न वै जादू मृषैव स्यात् प्रजात्यक्षमदर्हणम् भवद्विधेष्वतितरां मयि samgrubhitatmana. He said, Prajapati, I know for certain that any concentrated and completely devoted prayer to me will never go waste and never go unanswered. And especially the prayer of the great bhaktas. And that's why Bhagavan is telling, Jadu mrisham yevana satvai. It will never go waste. It will never be unanswered. All the prayers to me will never be unanswered or it will never go in vain. That is, it will not be wasted. It will give its result at the right time, at the right place, and the right opportunity. Maybe it may not be at the time which we want because Bhagavan knows well. He knows the past, future, and the present also. What we know is only the past and now what are happening now. That also not the past, some beyond the 50 years. We will not remember it. So what Bhagavan is telling is, I know to give when to do, what to do, and all your prayers will not be wasted, he says. And Bhagavan also gave some hints to Kardama Prajapati about his entire life. And Bhagavan said, in the day after tomorrow, that is in the 2 days, Swayambhuva Manu and his wife Shatarupa, who is ruling this land of 7 continents, they will come and meet you. And they have a very beautiful daughter, Devahuti. She is very beautiful and compatible to you in all ways. They are looking out for a husband for their daughter, so they will come to you. And you marry her and beget in her 9 daughters. So your family line will continue. Those daughters will be married to rishis and they will have children. And they will be married, they will have children. So from your line, this is your contribution to the creation of this universe. So from your line, there will be many children, grandchildren and great-grandchildren. So in that way, you can obey the orders of Brahmadeva and actively help in the creation of this, the creation process. Bhagavan said all this, and Bhagavan also said, and after enjoying the Grihastha life, you will enter in meditation and you will attain me and you will realize that my Atmanam Saha Jagat Drakshatyatmani Chabimam. That is, you will see the entire world in you and you will see me also in you and you will see the whole world together in yourself as contained in me and me also in yourself. That is, Bhagavan is telling, you will see the whole universe together with yourself in yourself as contained in me and me also in yourself, which implies that you will not see any difference between the object or the subject, any difference. You will see the entire world, or you will realize that the entire world is not different from you and that everything, this universe along with you is there in Bhagavan, in me. Bhagavan is telling you will see all that in me and you also will be in me. So there is no difference between this world about that person, that is Kardama Prajapati or Bhagavan. Actually, this is the truth. There is no difference. Only there is difference in the external form, which we are taking it so deeply and acting or working, and that's how we create our karmas. It is well said that we write our own destiny. So we see difference everywhere and we are reacting to that, and in that way we are creating our karma and writing our own destiny. Anyway, by Bhagavan, he blessed Kardama Prajapati that he will do not see any difference. He will do not see any difference in anything, whether that is the world or that himself or Bhagavan. And furthermore, Bhagavan said, Sahaham swam shakalaya twadviryena mahamune tava kshetre devahutyam praneshe tattva samhitam. And Bhagavan also said that I will be born as your son, as the son of Devahuti and Kardama Prajapati. I will be born as your son in the end after the 9 daughters, and that will be my Amsha Kalayam, that will be the partial incarnation of me. There are different types of incarnation: Kala Avatara, Avesh Avatara, Amsha Avatara, and Purna Avatara. So Avesh Avatara means just like the Nrsimha Avatara. When his bhakta was in difficulty, immediately Bhagavan appeared before him and solved all his problems. Even Varaha Avatara is said as the Avesh Avatara only. When Brahmadeva meditated, he appeared. Some avatars will be Kala Avatara, that is only partial of the divinity of Brahman, that is the divine concepts of Brahman will be reflected in that form. That is Amsha Avatara. Bhagavan is telling that here Bhagavan is referring to the Kapila Avatara, and that is the Amsha Avatara, that is the part of the divine is reflected in that form. Some avatars will be the Purna Avatara, just like Bhagavan Sri Krishna. All the divinity, the complete divinity will be reflected in the form in which he takes. So that is the Purna Avatara. That's why Krishna Avatara is said as the Purna Avatara. Whatever aspect of life, that there will be complete divinity in it. And he said that taking that form, I will propound a philosophy, Tattva Samhitam, a philosophy, and Bhagavan is referring to the Sankhya philosophy. Bhagavan said all this, and Kardama Prajapati was just standing like this. Just imagine a person who is doing tapas for such a long time, and Bhagavan is appearing in front of him and giving all this advice and telling about his plan and ideas. How will any person feel? So he was standing like this with Ashru Bindu falling from his eyes, and Bhagavan disappeared from that ashrama of Kardama Prajapati, and when he went to his abode, Vaikuntha. The place, that is the ashrama in which Kardama Prajapati is there, that place is called Bindu Saras. It is on the banks of river Saraswati, and Bhagavata describes Bindu Saras as Yasmin Bhagavado Netra Nayapatannashru Bindavaha Krupaya Samparitasya Prapannorpitaya Mrusham Tadvai Bindusaro Nama Sarasvatya Paripludam Punyam Shivamrita Jalam Maharshi Gana Sevitam. That place is called Bindu Saras because the Ashru Bindu of compassion, of blissness of Bhagavan, from the eyes of Bhagavan, it fell in that place. And so that place is called Bindu Saras. Bhagavan, out of compassion, in that completely blissful state, tears of joy and compassion fell from the eyes of Bhagavan. One drop of tear fell in that place. And that's why that place is called Bindusaras, and it is on the banks of river Saraswatya. Saraswatya Paripludam, that is, it is that around that place flows a Saraswati river. And what type of water that Saraswati river has? Punyam Shivamrita Jalam. That water of that Saraswati river is Punyam Shiva Amrita Jalam. If we drink that water, it is nectar, gives complete bliss. Maharshi Gana Sevitam, and it is used by the rishis who stay in that place. So divine and sacred and pure is Saraswati river. Even nowadays, some rivers are like that, just like the holy Ganga. Of course, it may be polluted, but in some places it is not polluted. And if we take a dip in that water of Ganga, it says that all the sins will be removed. The meaning of it is our mind will be refreshed. Then we will not have that tendency to go in the wrong way. Many rivers like that, Yamuna, and in the south, Kaveri, down the south, Tamirabharani. So all these rivers, they have a divinity in them. Mostly because of their water currents, and no one knows what gives that divinity. So it's so divine that if we are a little aligned towards spirituality, and if we use that water or take a dip in that water of these rivers, then it changes our mind a lot. So that pure is Bindusaras, that place, and the Saraswati river. And Kardama Prajapati's ashrama is situated in that place. And as said by Bhagavan, in that appointed time, in that appointed day, that is then 2 days after Bhagavan left for Vaikuntha, that in that day, particular day, Swayambhuva Manu, along with his wife Shatarupa and his beautiful daughter Devahuti, they came in a golden vehicle and landed before the ashrama of Kardama Prajapati. They were so happy to see this place because it was so complete greenery. Many birds make beautiful sound there. So divine, not disturbing. Sometimes some sound of the birds will be disturbing, but it is not disturbing, and it will help only the meditation. And there are many fruits and flowers, and the very good fragrance from all that. So they all liked that place very much, and they entered in the ashrama of Kardama Prajapati. And Kardama Prajapati was just shining. Because of this meditation, he was doing tapas for such a long time, and more than that, he saw the form of Bhagavan. So he was in that blissful state of mind. And when they came in, Kardama Prajapati saw them, 3 of them, in their entrance of his ashrama. And he invited all of them and gave them a seat and did all that Aditi Puja. And he requested Swayambhuva Manu to tell about their reason for this visit, to tell about their purpose of this visit. And what did Swayambhuva Manu and Shatarupa Devi tell to Kardama Prajapati? I will continue in my next upload. With this ends the 21st chapter of Canto 3 of Srimad Bhagavada Purana. Shri Narayana Kila Guru Bhagavan Namaste. Om Shri Krishna Arpanamastu.